Hello everyone, this is Crazy, aka ymustisignin. We're watching a 6 vs 6 in-house match of Star Battle X, where on the blue team we have fastforward, Windu, Ryanor, rammsstein, Neroon, and GreaterNinja. He's the creator of Star Battle X. On the red team we have Bled, Jimber, Alik, DarkUncle, Yoda, and rescueranger. Rescueranger here is open to standard range and missile. GreaterNinja has Energy Nova, rammsstein, range and missiles, bled, 5 armor, Alik, range and missiles, Jimber, imp, DarkUncle, force field, fastforward, range and missile, Neroon, plague. Not really a lot of surprising openings here. One big difference is that Windu as Dread went life increase with the permanent spell damage reduction and no armor, whereas Bled as Dread went 5 armor. So again, in this version, when you increase armor, you do increase your life amount. So we have some mid-cloud aggression. Blue team has been pushed back just slightly, but now they are pushing back, trying to push back, get some farm probably. It's unlikely they're really counting on a kill right here. But the Raven is low, the BC is low, and if they can get a kill right here, they're going to go for it. They wouldn't like anything more than to drop Alik the BC right now. In earlier games, Alik has tended to favor a missile-heavy build, so I would expect to see that from him again. Whereas on GreaterNinja usually encourages his BCs to opt more for a Yamato-heavy build. So now that blue team has pushed them back, they're farming up, trying to maintain an even spread. The tank is off to the left, as he has been through most of this match, with the Void Ray on the other side lane being pushed back a little bit from Frigate, letting some of this farm leak through. We got Yoda trying to work this side lane over here, and Rescue trying to maintain aggression as the Frigate in this side lane, while the rest of the team is healing up. Alik now coming back up after having healed. He got regen. Since he got the regen, so he didn't have to spend so much time in the base, he hasn't really upped his missiles that much. And I don't think the rest of the team has managed to get enough farm at 4 minutes in to really have any particularly exciting spells so far. That plague there nailing both the Arbiter and the Frigate. That's exactly the type of plague that Overlords really like to get at. So in this early section of the game, it's really important to just get as much farm as possible. And as you can see, blue team has a 120 farm lead right now, but they are getting pushed back, as is usually expected around the 4.5 minute mark. So the red team is going to manage to push in, and then this is going to be really the clutch moment, is whether the blue team is going to manage to get a kill as they take advantage of the farm that they've just gotten, or whether they will let the red team even up the farm. Not really pushing in very aggressively right here. Windu is holding back a little bit. rammsstein is trying to kite some. Ninja is trying to probably deny the incoming farm from his team with his AoE. So the red team isn't evening up the farm as fast as they would like in this situation. Fast forward, got ion cannon, and he's at 275 energy. He hasn't been focusing missiles so much because he wants that nuke. Neroon, staying focused on play. He has some range, and he's up to 350 energy. Ryanor, I don't think he is up yet. Ninja, I don't think is up yet. They're coming back to up now. As you can see, Bled, he still hasn't gotten his HP upgrade, but he did pick up repair buffs so that he can deal with plagues from Neroon and other miscellaneous aggression. Red team getting forced back. Blue team didn't really go for a warp trick, anything too unusual or exciting here. But they are playing, solid. They are maintaining their farm lead. Now, they did even it up, almost even it up here, the red team. But this is now a point where red team is once again being pushed back, and blue team still has their lead. So blue team is, strictly speaking, winning right now. It's just not a big lead, but it is a lead. Red team trying to get some aggression on Neroon, the Overlord here. Some dread on dread fighty action. DarkUncle stalled right there. That could have been that was a very risky stall. Ended up getting hit by fast forward's mute, his ion cannon blast, and he's out of shields and out of energy, low on health from the plagues. He's gonna have to back pretty soon here, but he might have a chance to get some ups. He just have 280 floating minerals. Alik at 400 floating minerals. Rescueranger at 400 floating minerals. So the red team is ready to spend some more money, get some more ups. Rescueranger has been continuing to focus on missiles. He is trying to stay focused, but he took an ion blast from fast forward there, putting him in the low yellow. This is not really what you want to see a lot of time, unless you are setting up a warp trick. Having all of the team back by the base upgrading at the same time gives the blue team a chance to really get a solid lead on the farm. And that's what you're seeing right here at this 1100 to 1000 farm ratio. Red team is coming back out now. Bled does now have his HP up. He also picked up Protective Field. He's still at 200 energy, so an Imp really lowers his defensive capabilities quite a bit, but he's still doing pretty good. DarkUncle is focused on Force Field and Feedback. He's still at 350 energy. A little bit low. If he'd like to get more farm, get his energy up, and he's taking lockdowns from rammsstein, but rammsstein let himself get a little bit out of position there as a result. Alik still focusing on missiles, as I said he probably would. Jimber got defensive matrix in addition, and that's what is allowing him to keep bled protected, even as he's pushing in so hard. Fast forward still hasn't had a chance to get back and either upgrade his ion or upgrade his missiles. And it looks like there's not going to be a kill here quite yet. It's still a situation where blue has a solid farm lead, and they're going to probably be able to take advantage, get some more ups before red has a chance to really completely even this up. Ninja, once again, he's picked up Blink by this point, but he's mostly focusing on Energy Nova, trying to deny the capacity of red team to pick up this farm. rammsstein working on lockdown. He's low energy, and he is now on 3-shot farm, so he had to delay his own capacity to farm just a little bit while he picked up lockdown, but it's really worth it if it means preventing people like Bled from coming in with that protective field. Red team now backing up really before they have a chance to warp in on fast forward, who has picked up afterburners, which is allowing him to get in a good position for his team to warp in if they need to, if it looks like they are going to have a chance to get a kill. Fortunately, red team backed off so that fast forward's afterburner isn't really going to manage to do it for him right now. GreaterNinja coming back up. He's now up to 2 beam and some beam speed with charge. He's developing. He's at 400 energy. It's a good amount of energy for Void Ray that lets him usually manage to drop some of those charge attacks while still having enough energy to blink out when he needs to. Ryanor has stayed focused. He's up to 425 energy. Still primarily focused on Shockwave, on Imp. Really focused on the energy wars, keeping the enemy team low on energy. Windu still doesn't have Protective Field, only 3 armor ups, but he does have Repair Bots, and he has been focusing a little bit more on Gats and on farming ups, trying to maintain that farming lead. Bled took a Plague here, which is ignoring his armor, but he's low on Gats, so even though he's pushing up on Windu, he's not doing a ton of damage. Fast forward trying to boost out so that he doesn't end up being at risk of taking a nuke from Rescue, but Rescue doesn't have any spells at all. He's really been focusing on missiles. Neroon picked up Contaminate, allowing him to really focus on these ships that are focusing exclusively on missiles. This reduces the attack speed of missile boats by 50%. Meanwhile, he's continuing to maintain damage with his Plague output. With just a little bit of farming. He's not using Mutas for farming, he's using his Energy Blast for farming. Perhaps presuming that he's focusing on the mid lane. It's not really, doesn't need the Mutas that much to be dealing with catching, escaping creeps too often. Greater coming in here trying to get some farm, taking a few shots from the tower, but nothing he can't handle in this situation. Once again, red team all kind of pushed back into their base, getting ups together. They want to come out together, come out strong, but that's not really what we've been seeing so far. Again, this is an IH match. This is not a tournament, so these players haven't really played together before. They're trying to follow the direction of their team leader, but they don't necessarily have the coordination that a team that's more familiar with each other and more familiar with their builds would be capable of. I mean, it's surprising that we haven't seen really a warp drift yet, and I think that says something that GreaterNinja and his team knows that red team is not going to let themselves get caught by a warp drift. They're just not going to let it happen. This is what ended the last IH game just before this, was a warp trick where one ship stayed behind. I'm presuming that at this point Jimber has radar. Let's go ahead and check that. Yeah, so as you can see here, Jimber has radar. And so that was almost certainly a high priority for the red team, was to pick up this radar so that they can see the enemy ships on the minimap even when they are not in direct range of vision. And so this is really one of the best ways of inhibiting enemy warp tricks. You just make sure you know where they are all the time. You don't want to get surprised in a game like this. In a game where you only have one life, and a single death means that you're out of the game, you don't want to be surprised by an enemy warp trick. Once again, blue team maintaining their farm lead, which has been pushed up to 300, while they continue to come out once again, easy and slow, not necessarily trying to surprise the enemy team, but just using the sheer force of their aggression to push them back once again and maintain aggression. Red team having to pretty much straight back, not trying to kite, not trying to do anything too fancy here. Rescueranger has by now picked up Ion Cannon himself. He's at 300 energy. He's been really focusing on the shield so that he can pick up that level 10 shield regeneration, which is one of the new features of Star Battle X. Dropping that Ion Cannon on a shielded Dreadnaught is not going to do a ton of damage, but will still continue to work at those shields a little bit. Alik continuing to focus primarily on missiles, but also having by now picked up Lockdown, trying to deal with the Raven, the protective shield, and of course the opposing lockdown from rammsstein. Windu getting pushed back a little bit here by the aggression of Bled. He has now picked up 4 Gats. No, I'm sorry. Bled has picked up 2 Gats. Windu remains at 4 Gats, having not really focused increasing his armor, instead trying to get up that protective field, getting a little bit energy in. I don't think he's getting too much farm, so he's struggling to really become the super tank he probably wants to be. Rescue not really able to contain GreaterNinja too much when he needs to be ready to support his team in case a big push comes in from the mid. Blue team now pushing up to a 400 farm lead, as they have a slight map advantage here. You can see they are on the enemy team's side, having pushed back the red team to their cloud. So they can't. It's risky to push past this cloud, push into the cloud. But so long as they keep the red team within their cloud, they are still winning. They are still getting farmed faster than the other team will. And that is what will ultimately let them win this game if they manage to maintain the farm lead at the rate that they have. Now again, losing a single ship here could shift the odds in the favor of red team. Ninja now up to 7 beam damage, exchanging Ion Blasts. This Ion Blast doing 1,300 total damage versus shields. Fast Forward's doing 4,500 damage versus shields. Now Fast Forward has also picked up Fusion Torpedo, ready to make that big play that's going to drop an enemy ship altogether. But he also is leading on ion cannons. You know, he hasn't been focusing on rockets quite so much. Rescue has focused on rockets a little bit, but also Fast Forward hasn't dropped a single mineral into shield so far. So that's a pretty big difference between these two styles of play. Rescue saying that he hasn't been taking too much aggression from the enemy Overlord and his plagues, deals that he wants to be able to handle things relatively well here. I'm not sure what Windu is talking about in terms of a disturbance in the force. of course making a allusion to the destruction of Endor in the Star Wars universe from the first Star Wars film, a timeless American classic by George Lucas that, without doubt, has served as a major inspiration for the StarCraft franchise. Bled now, 3 lasers, not quite managing to maintain 2-shot farm. Jimber at 4 lasers, still on 2-shot farm, having also picked a point defense drone, anticipating perhaps a heavier missile build, but that's not really what these ships have been going. Rammsstein does have most of his damage, or all of his damage, really, from missiles, but he, as a ship, he's more control at this point. He's more focusing on lockdown and with controlling and containing the enemy ships in terms of energy and ability output. Yoda now at 6 beam damage, 0.36 beam speed. With Cloak, no charge yet, so his damage output remains having a low potential. Greater having no Cloak, but charge. It's another big difference between these two styles of Void Ray play. We have a bit of a push here. Ryanor getting caught a little bit out of position. They're trying to, if they can get Ryanor right here, that's going to be a big win for the red team. Coming in, Ryanor, he's at 0.91 speed, so if he can stay alive long enough, he will outrun almost all of the enemy ships, but as a consequence, he also risks letting Neroon get caught in his place. Neroon unable or unwilling to turn. No, he does turn. He drops his Contaminate. Fast forward, now dropping the nuke. The nuke goes off. Bled is at 4,000. He has his shield up. He's trying to get regen going back. It's unsure whether there's going to be a big kill here. DarkUncle stalls again. DarkUncle goes down. Yoda goes down. Rescueranger. The shields aren't saving him now. The Raven manages to keep the defensive matrix up, but that doesn't save him from Fast Forward's ion cannon. Bled just rages out, and that's the game. Thank you for watching, everyone. This is my first live cast of a Star Battle matchup. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you enjoyed today's show, I hope that you'll think about subscribing. Thank you once again, and have